Northern Indiana has a long history with the monster trucks, and one of the storied venues is an unassuming grassroots fair in South Bend. In keeping with the tradition, the Monster Truck Throwdown brings some big action to the small-town crowd. Welcome to the northern part of the Hoosier State as the Monster Truck Throwdown roars into the St. Joseph County Fairgrounds before a capacity crowd here in South Bend, Indiana, as D gets the big toys put away, clearing the track for Best Trick Racing and Freestyle. And we get our first truck up for Best Trick. We're going to get right into the action tonight, again before an awesome high-energy capacity crowd, and this is some good old-fashioned monster truck competition. That crowd will judge our winners in Best Trick and Freestyle. First up out of Middleville, Michigan, right past the Michigan border, down here in Indiana this weekend, the Frontier Truck Parts machine of Elliott Miller, that beautiful C10 that he brought out this year, and another scheme that he's carrying for his sponsor from the state of Michigan, the Frontier Truck Parts crew. Always glad to see their colors carried. Didn't quite get the slap wheelie he was looking for there, but let's see what he has in the way of two-wheel action, because we know he's got some in store. Bouncing on the front end, Elliott Miller, much to the crowd's delight, getting after it here this weekend. Delivering on the opening statement here, giving the crowd something to think about. 4 more trucks in the field yet to go. Up next, the machine that we saw being piloted by Darren Basil earlier in the year. In terms of the chassis, of course, it was being run under the Blockhead identity the last time we saw it under Darren Basil's controls. Now with Jared Smith at the wheel. Maybe having a little problem with that truck. Didn't seem like it wanted to get up and make horsepower. Of course, this is the old Quad Chaos chassis. This thing has been put through the ringer over the last several years, and going to be making its swan song run here for the DCT Power Sports crew in 2024. Not what Jared Smith wanted at all, I can guarantee you that. They may be having a fuel issue or a timing issue, maybe even a gearing issue. They won't know until they get in there and work on that truck, but I guarantee you he and Jack and the crew will be back there getting that thing running a little bit better throughout this weekend. A little bit of a disappointing showing, as we know that guy has a lot more in him, and so does the truck. Now, future Hall of Famer John Zimmer out of Howell, Michigan, the Sendit Motorsports Uproar. Also looking for a slap wheelie. There's a K-rail in between the two sets of cars, and he did not get what he wanted off of it. Kind of in the same boat with Elliott Miller now as he loops back around. Let's see what Zimmer has for hit number 2. Crowd on Miller's side right now. A lot of Michigan love coming down south of the border. We are not far from Michigan, by the way. If you didn't know where South Bend was, we are literally right across the state line here. Puts the hood on the ground, puts the rear tires on top of the K-rail. That might be a takeover run. I don't know. Again, it's up to the crowd. They liked it, but did they like it more than Miller? Right here again, when he sets the hood on the ground right there, bent it up a little bit, didn't do too much body damage. That's cosmetic only, but that right there, I don't know, was exactly what he wanted. Kind of slams the rear wheels down on the concrete. We'll see if it holds up. Up next, Jack Brown of Lafayette, Indiana, in the Dirt Crew Dozer. Eddie Micah built machine running out of the camp, headed by Jerry Beck from right here in the Hoosier State. This crowd has plenty to cheer for. A couple trucks from just over the state line and 2 from right here in Indiana. What does Brown have next? Those slap wheelies seem to not be an option here tonight. This is a very silty soil. Very hard to get a bite. Riding it out there on the front tires. Straight forward, straight back, and trips it onto the back tube. Might have just taken over with that run. You see him whipping up a little bit of that silt. They're going to be looking right into that sunset all night long. Not the most pleasant way to go down the track, but it's not going to stop them from putting on an awesome show for this crowd here in South Bend. And I have to believe that this one right here just took over the lead. Elliott Miller got wild on the front tires. John Zimmer showed a lot of control, but this right here to me is unmatched again, though. Up to the crowd. Brown knew who was coming up behind him, though. Young phenom, second-generation driver in the second part of the Send It Motorsports camp. A truck that, alongside Uproar, debuted down in Brooksville, Florida earlier this year. The Concussion Motorsports chassis built Send It Motorsports Terminal Velocity. Representing North Star Ranch Inc. contract carriers out of Howell, Michigan. Stops and waves to the crowd. Zimmer making a nice opening statement with that first move and best trick. He'll let the oil pressure build back up as those motors, no matter how well you sump them, they don't like running at that angle. Remember, most of these trucks have the engines sitting in there facing toward the back of the truck, so when you tip them up on end like that, it's forcing all the oil to the back of the pan. Definitely rob you of oil pressure, and they got to watch that light when they're sitting up there on the front wheels like that. Let's see. Well, ripping up the silt. I thought he lost one. He whips it into another. Didn't give the crowd a chance to be disappointed when he didn't get that bicycle. Gave him a dirt-slinging donut. John Zimmer Jr. turning him on here. Who won that best trick competition, though, is the question. That move right there might have been enough. We're going to find out momentarily. But all 5 of these guys definitely trying to put their best foot forward. Jared Smith, a little bit of work to do on Maximus to really get in the competition, but don't think he's holding anything back. We'll be back in a moment as John Zimmer Jr. takes the opening win. Stay with us.
This presentation is brought to you by Monsters Monthly, your place for photos, videos, event info, and all the happenings in the monster truck industry. Visit monstersmonthly.com. And by Crush This. For a weekly look inside the wide world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, Monster Truck Podcast. Available on Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube. This program is brought to you by RPM Army. For a wide array of content from across the motorsports world, visit rpmarmy.com. Your high-performance fix on the go.
Welcome back to the St. Joseph County Fairgrounds as the Monster Truck Throwdown continues to roll on into the evening. 5 competitors await our qualifying round that will set the field for side-by-side racing. 1 jump, straight line course. It's all about reaction time here tonight, and we're going to start qualifying here with Elliott Miller out of Middleville, Michigan. Again, the Frontier Truck Parts C10 Chevrolet Sinistar Motorsports machine. Old KCM build, and Miller should be quick. A lot of power. Solid run from Miller. As he kicks up the dirt there, a 3.34 second elapsed time will set the stage for our next machine, and that will be Jared Smith in Maximus. We'll see what he's able to do. Remember, he was struggling with the power in the best trick competition. We'll see if he has that rectified. Not a lot coming off the line. Seemed like it came to life a little bit there, but it might have been too late. Keep in mind, only the top 5 out of qualifying will advance into the first round of competition, so 1 truck will sit out of racing, and he may not be seeing that first round bracket, but these guys all have to get through the qualifying round. There you see the time, 3.54 for Jared Smith now as John Zimmer, now based out of Howell, Michigan, and the Send It Motorsports Uproar comes into stage. Time to beat a 3.34. Powerful pass for Uproar. Wait on the time. He qualified out of the same lane Miller did. A little bit better takeoff. A lot of hang time through there, and it wasn't enough. 3.48. Not going to get him to the number 1 spot. Jack Brown in the Dirt Crew Dozer now. Big Bad Machine from Lafayette, Indiana. Home state favorite trying to get in the field. He was super quick here on the near side. Brown laying down a shot. 3.02 seconds to take the number 1 spot. He betters Miller, the heavyweight. So Jared Smith now on the bump spot with 1 more and 1 very formidable foe coming to the line to try to take Smith's spot in the bracket. John Zimmer Jr. in the Send It Motorsports Terminal Velocity. Problem there on the end of the run. He came in from low orbit, stuffed the front end. I don't know if he bumped the shifter or it died in the air or what. That was a hard hit though. Watch him again. Loses power as he comes over. He does, however, outrun the Dozer by 1/100th of a second. Word we get was he actually lost power in the air. I'm not sure what caused that. Of course, he got it refired, but if he didn't do any damage, he's going to be a big threat in the racing bracket. That was a hard hit, though. Hopefully it didn't do anything to the truck. I know he felt that in the cab. You can see a 301 followed by a 302. The Frontier Truck Parts machine and Uproar will round out the field that will be making it into the first round of competition. So we will see Terminal Velocity taking on the Frontier Truck Parts machine and Uproar taking on the Dirt Crew Dozer. So 1 will take on 3 and 2 will take on 4, and it's anybody's ball game as things will start to even up as the cars get more crushed down. This is like an old Thunder National style race. Just raw horsepower off the line, hit the cars, and keep your foot in it. Close on the end. It looked like an edge to Jack Brown in the Dozer. That far side definitely was the quicker lane in qualifying. That's where the number one run came out of. Brown had lane choice and he put himself over there. Now he was only 1/100th off of the top spot over here on the near side, but he watched that lane, and that's where the quick runs, came from. As our next two competitors get ready to line up, it will be Terminal Velocity, John Zimmer Jr. out of Howell, Michigan, taking on Elliott Miller out of Middleville, Michigan. Send It Motorsports Camp having a lot to cheer about in this matchup. The North Star Ranch Inc. Contract Carriers bannered Terminal Velocity going side by side with the machine carrying the colors for Frontier Truck Parts. A lot of Michigan love here on the starting line. Miller got the jump, but I have to believe that Zimmer may still be having problems from that hard hit he took in qualifying, so it will be Elliott Miller going into the final round race against Jack Brown in the Dirt Crew Dozer. One more look at it. You can see Miller left him at the line. Zimmer took off hard, but he might have been worried about that truck dying in the air again. He kind of just coasted over the cars, an uncharacteristic drive for that black and orange machine out of Howell, Michigan, but he'll be back for Freestyle. They'll take it back there and get it ready. Guarantee he gives us a wild ride there now as Jack Brown stages up in the Dirt Crew Dozer. Elliott Miller feeling out his lane. Brown watching this track all night long, gets himself back over here on the near side. We'll see if it works out for him. Remember, he was faster than Miller in qualifying by 3/10. Very, very close at the end. And the win is going to go to the right lane. Elliott Miller in the Frontier Truck Parts Chevrolet C10 out of Middleville, Michigan. Picking up a close race right there. Look at that. Almost got passed up. We're a little bit off that finish line, but it was so close at the end, about a 100th of a second, and I would say a guess that it might be closer than that. Stay with us. Freestyle still to come from here in South Bend.
This presentation is brought to you by Pioneer Pole Buildings. Looking for reliable strength on your next building project? You want a partner as tough as the task ahead. Pioneer Pole Buildings. Built for you, built to last for over 25 years.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. For the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're going to go down memory lane.
We are back in South Bend, Indiana. A few obstacles getting added to the race lanes as the crowd jumps for free t-shirts courtesy of Todd Maddock and the Crunch Time Ride truck, always down there working the crowd here late in the day. Again, the sun not setting too early out here. We are up in the northern part of Indiana, just south of Michigan, and sun doesn't set until almost 10 o'clock up here in the summer, so plenty of brightness. As you see, that van is just fair game for whoever wants to pick on it, but I have a feeling it's not going to be there too long with this guy on the track. Elliott Miller again out of Middleville, Michigan. That big block Sean horsepower getting ready to go to work. Still couldn't totally grab a hold of that slap wheel. That should tell you how slick this dirt is out here. Just kind of scrubbed the top of the van there. Didn't even get much of a run at it. Working the stacks. We'll see what Miller has up his sleeve. Oh, he just destroys the van. Wasn't going to leave it out there for anyone else. A little two-wheel action. Short and sweet for the Frontier Truck Parts Chevrolet out of Middleville, Michigan. What a run for Elliott Miller. Again, grabbing a little bit of a slap wheel there, but you can see couldn't get that bite. Again, right up and over the van, just barely scratching the top of it. And then this, coming back the other way, just plows through the side of it, flip it over, gets it with the cradle, and just shreds the body away from the frame. Miller, again, looking for that crowd approval. The crowd picks the winner. I said that before. No scores here, no pro judges. It's all about the fans. Jared Smith in Maximus, ready to make his statement. We'll see if he was able to find the horsepower again. He was having that problem earlier in the day. He and Jack Brown working on this thing, trying to get it to come around. Oh, he's definitely got the power now. Whatever they did to it, it worked. Well, he went in to get a donut right there, couldn't find the power, so maybe it's coming back to haunt him again. Tell you what, though, this machine is a testament to what a little TLC and a little ingenuity and know-how will do for what is kind of an ancient machine built in the mid-90s by Tim Tesmer. That was a nice hit right there. And campaigned by Joe Sylvester and Bart Mimone over the years, and now part of the DCT Power Sports team. Of course, it ran as Quad Chaos for quite some time, driven by Aaron Kane, and he was not nice to it in any stage of its existence. Now with this Eddie Micah cradle underneath, some alterations in the cage, and Jared Smith puts it through its paces here tonight, giving the crowd what they came to see. I do believe Elliott Miller still sits on top. Let's see though. Uproar. John Zimmer. Send It Motorsports Uproar Ford out of Howell, Michigan. Remember, in 2 days, these crews have to be at another event about 2 hours from here in Fowlerville, Michigan. What's kind of going to be the Independent World Finals. And look at that, Zimmer wasted no time. Got what was left of that standalone work van sitting out there. There goes a very expensive Brothers hood. John's got a broken axle, it looks like there. That's what pitched the truck over to the left when he hit. That was awesome, though. Took out the hood right there. He already put it on the ground earlier. What a hit. Man, and he was punishing that thing. I'm wondering if he hurt that truck at all in racing. Remember, he set the rear end down on the concrete rail. Wondering if he was just hammering on that rear end so much that he did some damage in there. But again, this is an odd pitch. You can see that right rear was just not turning, and it pitched it over. So the crowd got their money's worth on that one, but I do believe they're still preferring Elliott Miller as Farm and Dustin Spallone Court Squatch getting the hood off the track as Jack Brown comes roaring out the dirt bulldozer with some big air. Standing, but he's making the most of what's left of the track, and even with only 5 trucks, he only had 3 in front of him, but this track is just wasting away now with how hard these guys have gone on it. That obstacle there, though, has something left in it. That van is still standing down there in the end zone, so we'll see what Jack is able to do with the remainder of this run. It's been a good run so far. Plenty of hang time, up on the nose. Thank God they watered the track between racing and freestyle. It's dusty all the way down in the end zones. You see that huge air hit right from go. But up here where they were racing, it's not as dusty anymore. It would have been an absolute smoke screen had he done that a little earlier. But Jack Brown doing a nice job. You notice he was still searching for that slap wheelie. Nobody able to find it yet here this evening, but a great run for Brown. The crowd, though, still hanging in there with Elliott Miller. That's the word right now as Ryan Lacoste pumps him up. 1 to go, and you know who it is. John Zimmer Jr. Send It Motorsports, North Star Ranch Inc. Contract Carriers, Terminal Velocity out of Howell, Michigan. Hard hit to open it up. No wasted effort in a John Zimmer Jr. run. And again, in a field of trucks like this, as small as the lineup is, there is nobody here who won't give it their all anytime they come out on the track. And Zimmer Jr. absolutely working this floor right now. Headed down center. What is he at first? Thought he was going to go for a stoppie. There's the slap, Willie. Everybody's been looking for that thing today. He grabs it. Much lighter weight setup here than some of the others. Little bit of smoke coming out of the left side of the engine. Not going to worry about that. He's going to wrap this run up on the front tires. Look at him just letting it hang there. Can't see from the other side. We've seen it before where he takes the steering wheel off, and he may have done that. I can't see out that side. I do believe he did. But Zimmer throwing caution to the wind. And there you hear it, your champion in freestyle, your champion in best trick, John Zimmer Jr. in Terminal Velocity. Laying it down here at the Monster Truck Throwdown in South Bend, Indiana. A big thanks to that whole crew. We're not done though, we have another one coming at you from here in South Bend. We will be following this tour on into Fowlerville, Michigan for, as I said, the Independent World Finals. And we will be getting a look at some of these machines again out in Mount Pleasant, Michigan at the Soaring Eagle Resort and Casino. You're not going to want to miss that one. Thanks for joining us here in Northern Indiana. We will see you next time.
This Back Channel Productions presentation has been brought to you by Gemini Associates. Whether you live upstairs, downstairs, or anywhere in general, we are here to serve.